The night was cold and slick with rain, the neon lights of the city reflecting off the black asphalt. Leopold, a police sergeant with a history of unchecked aggression, sat in his patrol car. He wore his dark uniform, but beneath it, he wore a crimson tactical vest that he preferred over his standard gear. It was a symbol of his enforcer mindset. Beside him sat Thaddeus, a rookie eager to impress, also in crimson trim gear. On the corner, standing under the flickering light of a yellow bus stop sign, was Kassandra. She looked lost because she was waiting for her driver after her car had broken down. She was dressed in a stunning royal blue velvet coat over a yellow designer silk dress. She wore prominent gold earrings and a gold luxury watch that glinted every time a car passed. In her hand, she held a white leather briefcase. To anyone with eyes, she looked like wealth, but to Leopold, she looked like a target. Leopold pulled the cruiser to the curb with a screech of tires. His face was already set in a realistic, unmasked expression of aggressive rage. As he stepped out, the veins in his neck began to pulse, and his nostrils flared as he smelled an opportunity to intimidate someone he deemed out of place. "Hey, you, move along. We don't want your kind loitering here," Leopold barked, his voice cutting through the sound of the rain. "I am waiting for my car, officer." "I am not loitering," Kassandra replied, her voice remaining a calm, professional royal blue tone. She stepped back defensively as Leopold invaded her personal space, the brim of his hat nearly touching her forehead. "I told you to move," Leopold hissed, his eyes widening in a terrifying display of anger. He reached out with a violent, sudden motion and grabbed the collar of Kassandra's royal blue velvet coat, jerking her away from the shelter of the bus stop. The force of the pull caused her gold earrings to sway violently. When Kassandra reached for her phone to call her security detail, Leopold's aggression turned physical. He lunged forward and delivered a heavy-handed, aggressive shove to her shoulder, forcing her back against the wet, cold metal of the yellow bus stop pole. "You're resisting," Leopold snarled, his face contorted with anatomical micro-expressions of fury, his brow furrowed into deep ridges and his skin turning an uneven, mottled red. He grabbed her by the arm of her royal blue coat and pinned her against the pole, his other hand slamming against her white leather briefcase, knocking it into a puddle. Thaddeus moved in, grabbing her other wrist and twisting it behind her back. The witnesses, Tobias in a white raincoat and Verity in a green trench coat, stood across the street, their phones raised to capture the raw, unmasked fury on the officer's face as he physically manhandled the woman in the velvet coat. "Officer, you are making a career-ending mistake," Kassandra said, her eyes turning a lethal, cold shade of navy. Leopold laughed, a jagged sound in the rain. He delivered one final, aggressive shove to her chest, pinning her even harder against the pole. "Your career is over, girl. You're going to the precinct in a cage." The rain continued to lash against the yellow bus stop pole, where Leopold still held Kassandra pinned. His crimson tactical vest was slick with water, and his face was a mask of triumph. Thaddeus maintained a painful twist on her arm, his boot splashing the puddle where her white leather briefcase lay submerged. "Check her pockets," Leopold grunted. "Let's see what kind of business she's really in." Thaddeus reached into the inner pocket of the royal blue velvet coat. He didn't find what he expected. Instead, he pulled out a heavy, gold-embossed leather folder containing the State Attorney General's seal and a high-security clearance card featuring Kassandra's face. Thaddeus froze. His face went from aggressive to ghost white in a split second. "Sarge, look at the name on the ID." Leopold snatched the card, his veins still pulsing with residual rage. As he read the name, Kassandra Vance, state's chief prosecutor, his eyes didn't just widen, they glazed over with a sudden realization of total career annihilation. His grip on her royal blue velvet lapel went limp. The sound of the rain was suddenly drowned out by the heavy thrum of rotors. A deep Navy State Police helicopter hovered overhead, bathing the street in a blinding white spotlight. From both ends of the block, 3 deep Navy luxury SUVs screeched to a halt, boxing in a patrol car. A team of state investigators in deep Navy tactical gear and yellow state police windbreakers swarmed the scene. In the center of the formation was a police commissioner, his face like stone, Leopold Vance, The commissioner's voice boomed over the rain. "You are under investigation for civil rights violations. You just provided the final piece of evidence on a silver platter." Kassandra straightened her royal blue velvet coat. Ignoring the water dripping from the hem, she picked up her white leather briefcase from the puddle. "Commissioner, I want the body cam footage from both of these men preserved as evidence for the justice debt they now owe the state." The sidewalk was no longer empty. Tobias and Verity stepped forward from the shadows, their phones glowing as they continued to live stream. The crowd grew as people from the nearby apartments looked out their windows, their flashes illuminating the scene. "Leopold," Kassandra said, stepping into the villain's personal space until she was inches from his crimson vest. "You told me I was going to cage. You were right about the cage, but you were wrong about the occupant." Leopold, in a state of aggressive panic, tried to reach for his radio to call for "officer needs assistance." He didn't get a finger on the button. Two state investigators firmly grabbed Leopold by the arms, twisting him behind his back in a brutal lock. They forced him to his knees in the same puddle where he had thrown her briefcase. Thaddeus was grabbed by his crimson trim gear and forced down beside him. "Strip him," the commissioner commanded. The investigators ripped the badge from Leopold's chest and the crimson vest from his torso, leaving him in his plain undershirt. Shivering in the cold rain, they physically dragged Leopold and Thaddeus through the street, their boots scraping against the asphalt as the crowd of witnesses cheered and recorded the disgrace. They were thrown into the back of a deep Navy transport van with no windows. In a final act of liquidation, Kassandra watched as Leopold's police hat was tossed into a green trash bin on the corner. Kassandra stepped into back of her waiting deep Navy sedan. The interior was warm, glowing with yellow ambient light. She looked at the gold luxury watch on her wrist. "The warrant for the rest of his precinct is ready," she said to her assistant. "Let's make sure the justice debt is collected in full by morning." The power was destroyed. The villain was liquidated. The lost girl had found exactly what she was looking for: justice.